While we already know the Minnesota Wild will win the Cup this year,
That's a joke. That's an absolute joke is what it is.
let's just go through this bracket anyway. I can't hold a straight face for that. I would love it, honestly. Wild, prove me wrong, because I love the Wild. I probably say it in every video, but I also love the Florida Panthers. I love to see them do well. But yeah, I don't have the Wild winning in this bracket, unfortunately. And actually, I haven't chosen. I think I know who I'm going to go with, but I'm going to still go with this bracket, just kind of with a moldable mind. Maybe I'll change my mind, but I think I know who I'm picking for this, which might surprise you. If we get there, we'll see. We'll see if I surprise myself instead. But yeah, I'm gonna go through this on the X YouTube NHL Bracket Challenge. And so, I mean, I don't know if I should make my own. Let me know if I should. If you want me to make my own, I can. I'll just go on X for now, and you can see me on X. So, I don't know what I'll name my bracket. Something really odd. Let's see. Elephant Measles. Oh, let's just go Measle. Okay, that's me. I'm Elephant Measle. And yeah, let's get to picking here. Let's see what we got here. I'll start with Colorado and the Seattle Kraken. And I just don't know if Seattle quite has enough to take on Colorado. I don't know how questionable Makar is for the start of the series, but he should be a part of the series at some point, at least. I haven't looked up the most recent who's going to be in or who's not going to be in. I know Barzal's going to be in for the Islanders, but I haven't heard anything else about some of these guys. I'm sure Makar, they'll want him out there, but I don't know. They might not rush him to game one. But either way, I don't know if that's going to make that much of a difference. I know Seattle is a great team, but I just don't think they have quite what it takes, especially with Colorado playing so well. Their last 10 is 8-1-1, whereas Seattle's is 6-4-0. I kind of wrote down the last 10 on this little piece of paper here, but I didn't write down too much more. I wrote the goalies as well. We got Grubauer and Joey Decord, who are not quite as up to par, at least statistically, than even Francouz. And then Georgiev has very good stats this year too. So I really don't see Seattle doing an upset here. I don't think they'll get swept. I don't think I can choose. Yeah, I don't choose the games until I think I've picked all of the first round. But I don't think Seattle gets swept. I'll have to choose a sweep at some point on here. I like choosing a sweep in the first round because it's got to happen in the first round, right? It doesn't have to, but I usually still pick that anyway. So I'll go with Colorado there. Dallas and Minnesota. Now, I am very high on Dallas. I think they have unbelievable goaltending. They've been playing unreal. They've won their last 6. They're 8-2-0 in their last 10. And they're like 7th in goals for this year, which is very... I don't know how different that is, but it's very different to what I normally think of Dallas. Usually I think of Dallas, the last few years, I always underestimate Dallas. I didn't even predict them to be in the playoffs this year. I always underestimate Dallas, and yet they always prove me wrong. And I always had underestimated them because I thought their scoring was not quite good enough. But I think it's stepped up quite a bit. You know, you got Robertson, you got Rupe Hintz stepping things up, and Jamie Benn is playing a lot better than he has. And so, yeah, like, I really like Dallas in this one. Now, Minnesota, don't get me wrong, they have some really good stats too, and they've been playing pretty well over the last stretch. Maybe not in their last 10 as much, but they've been playing pretty well. Now, I'm not sure exactly... I guess it says April 24th for Eriksson Ek. He's out for a little bit. I don't know how big of a difference that makes as long as others are in, their main guys. Eriksson, not to say Eriksson Ek does nothing, right? Obviously, he's a good player, and he would be very useful and very helpful as well to try and take on Dallas, but he's not as big as some of the others you might find on Minnesota. I'm going to go with Dallas here. I like Gustafsson in net. I think he'll probably be the Minnesota starter. But I like Ottinger a lot more. And even though, you know, anything can happen, injuries can happen, and the goalie depth, like Fleury over Wedgwood is definitely a better scenario for Minnesota. But if we stick with Ottinger and Gustafsson, as great as Gustafsson has been, and even though Gustafsson, he does have better stats than Ottinger over the regular season, when it comes playoff time, I'm just locked in on Ottinger. Ottinger is just so good, and I think Ottinger could be a guy that drags a team, and not even drags when it's talking about this Dallas team, but is just such an extra part of the team that they could go all the way. I really am. Finally, after all these years, I'm actually very high on the Dallas Stars. I really like what they're doing. Vegas and Winnipeg. Vegas goaltending. Again, this is one that I'm not too sure about. Like, are they going to have Logan Thompson? Are they going to have Aiden Hill? Are they going to even start Jonathan Quick? Or are they going to go Laurent Brossoit? And Laurent Brossoit, like, he's got pretty good stats over the last, I guess he's played 11 games this year. His stats are pretty good for those 11 games, but is he really a playoff goalie that is going to get you far and deep? Jonathan Quick can and cannot be. And then Logan Thompson, Aiden Hill, we just don't really know. But I think it could be. Like, we've seen crazier things. We've seen a lot of times, like, I think of, goalies with not much playoff experience at all, like Binnington, or back in the day, Cam Ward. I think of that and I'm like, a goalie with not as much experience could do very, very well still. So I don't want to just throw out, Thompson or Hill if they're there. Again, I'm not sure if they're going to be there, but I would imagine they'll probably be around during the series. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not the doctor. But but Winnipeg, on the other hand, their goaltending is very solid. And I know I'm talking about goaltending a lot. I feel like I'm very focused on goaltending, and Hellebuck is your guy. Like, he's so good at playing goal, and I don't know. It makes me want to lean Winnipeg. Vegas, man, and they're probably gonna have Stone back, and it's just hard, especially when you don't see the level of production from guys like playoff production, at least from guys like Scheifele and guys like Wheeler, and I'm not sure when they're gonna get Ehlers. Ehlers has been great, but I don't know. I want to pick an upset, at least one, and I'm thinking about this being my upset. But there's another upset that I'm actually going to pick, so I don't want to pick too many upsets either, but maybe I should, because that happens in the playoffs. So I'm just kind of wavering. Do I go with Hellebuck, or do I go with, the entire Vegas team? I know I want Winnipeg to win. I like Winnipeg. Winnipeg's actually probably my fourth favorite team, but my heart's going one way, and my head's going... I'm not sure if I should go with my heart or go with the top seed, right? Like, my head is just trying to, like, gather around this. I think I might do it. I might go Winnipeg. Let's just do it. Now, Oilers and Kings, I think a lot of people thought this series was going to be pretty close. And, yeah, I mean, obviously it could be, and the Kings could totally win. But I don't really see it that way at all. And I personally, and I got some, well, not that much, but a little bit of flack for this when I put up a poll saying that this might be the easiest series to predict, because again, Edmonton is playing lights out hockey. Over the last little while, they've been playing better than anybody else. Over the last 10, better than Boston. Maybe not quite as good as Boston. A little bit longer than the last 10. I'm not totally sure, but again, they've won 9 in a row, which is pretty insane, and they're just going into this gung-ho. Skinner's playing well. Again, is he a goalie that can really, steal you a series? Probably not, but I feel like Edmonton has enough to where Skinner just has to hold the line. He just has to be good enough. He just can't be bad. And I feel like Skinner can absolutely do that. Now, if they, again, lose Skinner to injury, which anything could happen, Jack Campbell's in net after that, and so that's not great. So their goalie depth kind of is not on the same level as the Kings, especially with Korpisalo himself being probably the best goaltender out of all of the goaltenders involved in the series. And so I don't know if that's enough. So I'm going to go with Edmonton still. And I'm going with Edmonton very quick. Yeah, here we go. Edmonton. And I do have to pick a sweep. Somebody's going to have to sweep somebody, eh? Should Edmonton be the sweep? Oh, man. I'm going to go Colorado in 6. I might choose Edmonton as the sweep. Kings fans are gonna hate me for this, but that'll be my sweep because again, I just feel like Edmonton is so on fire. I'm gonna go for that. Dallas, I'm gonna go with 6 for Dallas, and Winnipeg over Vegas. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go 7 for that because I'm just not sure. I'm gonna say Winnipeg pulls it out in a hard-fought series, but that'll be that for that. Oh man, well, this is interesting. Boston, Florida. Now, Florida, again, I don't even know. I might have said this already in the video. I'm not even sure. But I say it every video. Florida's my second favorite team. I love Florida. Yeah, I do. And I really want them to win. And I'm most excited for this series. And I'm really excited to watch it. Even though I don't think Florida can pull it out. I really don't. I'm going with Boston. Now, everyone's kind of like bringing up with Boston, and I don't know if they really believe it, but I know people are bringing it up. Like, oh, 2019, remember when Tampa Bay had that amazing 62-game record? Boston's even better, so they can fall even harder. Boston also had playoff experience, a lot of it, just like Tampa had playoff experience, a lot of it in 2019, right? Tampa went to the Cup final in 2015. So there's a lot of things that make you think, oh man, could this be the next Tampa Bay big sweep, big loss in the first round? You know what? I hope so, but I don't think so. I think Boston is locked in. I think Boston is probably themselves aware of that whole Tampa Bay thing. And they're like, yeah, we can't do that. We're going to take this team seriously. And I think they are. I don't think they're going to be too high on themselves. They might be high on themselves confidence-wise, but not like cocky, overconfident-wise. And so I do think Boston makes it out. Now, does Boston win the Cup? I'm not sure about that. They have a very good chance to. Obviously, they're the favorite to do that because they've had such an amazing season. Like, the best regular season of all time. Oh, what's going on? No way. Aw, snap. Okay, my had to reload that quickly, but I think we're all good now. Yeah, okay. We should be okay. Let's see. Toronto, Tampa Bay. Now, this is the big series. This is can Toronto finally get over Tampa Bay? I better not take too long, otherwise I'm going to have to pick these again. Oh, what is going on? But anyway, so Toronto, Tampa. I feel like Toronto, like it's got to be time for them, right? Oh, it's their year. Oh, man. You know what? I've been thinking of this a lot. And somebody brought up a good point, and the winner of the series is going to be the one with the most will to win. And I thought about that, and I'm just like, that makes a lot of sense. And Tampa's had a lot of glory, and, you know, the last 3 years, it's been Cup finals. And so, does Tampa really mind that much? Well, obviously they mind a lot losing, but do they have as much will to win as Toronto does? And honestly, I don't know. I just they should have less will to win than Toronto. Toronto should have much more will to win. They haven't even made it out of the first round, even to get out of the first round, right? And so I am going to go with Toronto because I do think they should have the most will to win. But sometimes I don't know if it's all there mentally with them, you know, and they should be better, right? They got Ryan O'Reilly, and I think that'll not just be a help in terms of play on the ice, which it will be, but also leadership wise. I think that guy's, he's gone and he's won the Stanley Cup before, and he's won the Conn Smythe. And so that leadership in there is going to help a lot, I think, the mentality. And so I don't know what I want. I don't know if I want Toronto to lose or to win. I don't know, you know, but, oh, and then Toronto-Boston would be next. Ooh, that's interesting. But anyway, I really think that I think that Toronto should. I'm going to put Toronto in 7 when I get there. They should do it. They should. They really should, right? Oh, we'll see. Again, I don't know if I want them to or not, but I do think they finally get out of it because again, they pushed Tampa so far last time. And again, game 7, is that going to be good for them? No. They always seem to lose in game 7 as well. They make it so far. But I don't know. I just feel like they've got to do it, right? They've got to. Like, eventually it's going to be a breakthrough. Like, we saw Ovechkin. He couldn't beat the Penguins for so long, and then there was breakthrough. And, you've seen it over the years with other teams as well. There's finally a breakthrough. Steve Yzerman, he can't win a cup. Breakthrough. 1997, 1998, right? So we'll see with Toronto, because it is, again, a possibility that there is never a breakthrough. And I don't think that's anything that Toronto fans even want me to entertain the thought of. But yeah, like I'm picking them anyway. Now, Carolina and the Islanders. I'm actually not super high on Carolina. This was going to be my other upset. Now, I know Islanders don't have Barry Trotz right now. They got Barzal back. They're still a very sound defensive team. And so, yeah, I'm going to go with the Isles on this one. I just think they can hold it down. And Carolina's missing Svechnikov. Who are the goalies? Sorokin. That's right. Sorokin and Varlamov. That is a pretty amazing duo, honestly. Varlamov is no slouch. And so the goalie depth is pretty great. And obviously Sorokin is, top 3 goalie in the league right now, at least, right? At least this season, right? So there's that. And then Kochetkov. I mean, Kochetkov is great, but, I just don't know if Carolina has things going as much in their favor, apart from a few things, like obviously like Sebastian Aho and different guys like that. I mean, they have a great team, and they are pretty sound defensively as well. I shouldn't slouch that. I just feel like they're not... I don't think they're going to be up to par, and I feel like this is going to be an upset by the Islanders. Islanders, again, a very good... Well, not that Carolina's not either. That's difficult, because Carolina is also a very good playoff team. Until recently, they always made the, conference finals, at least, when they made it into the playoffs. And now they're actually a steady playoff team, right? And so, I don't know, but I have this feeling it's going to be the Islanders. And again, anything can happen, right? Now, New Jersey and the Rangers. Rangers just have so much going for them on paper. They have Shesterkin, right? And they have Patty Kane, and they have Zibanejad and Adam Fox, and just all these names, right? Panarin, like, it's just Keandre Miller. Like, it's just nuts what they have. The Rangers, I don't know if I see them losing, unless, of course, Shesterkin is either not as good, although he seems to be getting really good, especially nowadays. He's getting hot nowadays, I should say. Obviously, he's been very good before. Last year, he was amazing. But yeah, he's getting into form, I guess I should say. He's rounding into form. And the Devils, I mean, they have Vanacek. He's good. Yeah, I don't know. The Devils are a great team, but I feel like the Rangers should take this. And interesting, the matches that are coming out of this. It's going to be New York Rangers against New York Islanders in my scenario, which is pretty good. I say Boston in 5 against the Panthers, as much as I love the Panthers. Toronto, I said in 7. Rangers and Devils, I would say Rangers in 6. And Isles and Canes, I'll probably go 6 as well for that. Could go the distance, but I feel like so many series that you think are going to go to the distance don't actually go to the distance. So that's why I'm not picking too many 7th games. Although I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. There was a lot of game 7s in round 1. It was actually crazy. I feel like it was last year, but it could have been the year before. Either way, it was awesome. So hopefully this doesn't go all snap on me again. Dallas, Colorado. You know what? I'm going to do it here. I'm going to go Dallas. I just think Dallas is nuts, and I just think they have such a good setup, such a good situation, and they can score now, and they're again 3rd in the league for not allowing goals allowed, right? Not allowing goals. They're third in the league. They're a great defensive team. They look like they're a better offensive team. Their goaltending with Ottinger just seems so solid. And Ottinger in the playoffs, especially what we've seen of him in the playoffs, is just absolutely lights out nuts. And so I got to go with Dallas. And unfortunately, Winnipeg, Edmonton again. They're scary. Sorry to Edmonton fans if I say unfortunately. Edmonton is the team that I'm cheering against the most. They're kind of my least favorite team. So I got some bias in here. Boston and Edmonton, I don't want them to do well. So yeah, I mean, if they do well, good for you guys. But I don't want them to. Anyway, but I'm picking Edmonton here because I just think they're very good, and it scares me. Toronto, Boston. I'm gonna put Boston over Toronto. New York Islanders, New York Rangers. Oh boy. Am I too high on the Rangers? They made the conference finals last year. And then the year before, it was the Islanders. And the year before that, it was the Islanders, right? So, man, just some conference finals teams here. I'm going to go with the Rangers. And I'm going to go... Oh, do I do Bruins in the final or the Rangers? Because now I'm starting to go with my heart again. Obviously, I want the Rangers instead of the Bruins. Man. I'm gonna go with the Rangers. Do I actually think that they'll beat the Bruins, though? Okay, I'll go with it. I'll go Bruins. I'm going with my head here. I think Bruins, and I think Stars. Again, I'm so high on the Dallas Stars. I just think that they're kind of and I don't know, I'm not, obviously this is before I've watched any other predictions of playoff who's going to win. But yeah, Dallas to me just low key. I don't think anyone's really expecting them to win the Stanley Cup. And I think that's a great spot for them to be in because usually Colorado was a big name last year to pick. And the Lightning the year before were a big name to pick. But let's go back to the days of 2018 and 2019. Actually, 2018 I picked the Capitals to win the Stanley Cup, and that was good. Let's hope that this is a similar idea, right? I always underestimate the Dallas Stars, but this time, am I overestimating them, or am I right on par? I don't know. Total goals 19. Have I read and agreed to the official rules? Sure. Yeah, that's mine. That's my pick. Dallas Stars, Stanley Cup champions. That's where I'm going with this. We'll see how this goes. Again, anything can happen in the playoffs. We could literally see Minnesota Wild, Florida Panthers, and I would be in heaven. I would be so joyous. But I'm thinking Dallas, and I really strongly feel that Dallas can do so well with what they've got. They're just loaded loaded, maybe not loaded as in New York Rangers on paper loaded or like Boston Bruins loaded, right? Boston Bruins scare me as well. I forgot to mention because of that Bertuzzi edition. Now I didn't actually look up his stats. I don't know how well he's been playing with Boston so far, but even if he's been not that great with Boston, still in the playoffs, you need depth, and that is crazy. Oh, snap. Well, you know my prediction. So we'll all snap. I took too long. 19 goals in the finals. And let me know who you think will win the Stanley Cup. Let me know. And, I'll leave it at that.